The story of David and Goliath is one of the Bible's most iconic passages, marked by courage, faith, and trust in God. It leads us to reflect on what it means to face challenges and obstacles much larger than ourselves, with a confidence that we are not alone. Since ancient times, this narrative has inspired people of all ages and backgrounds, teaching that when we fully trust in God, the impossible can become possible. David, a young shepherd with no military experience, challenged the greatest warrior of the Philistines, showing that true strength does not come from weapons or position, but from a heart surrendered to God. By revisiting this story, we are invited to see our own giants and seek, like David, the courage that arises from faith and the divine presence in our lives. In David's time, war between Israel and the Philistines was constant. The Philistines were a warrior tribe occupying part of Israel's territory and constantly threatening the Hebrew people's security. Goliath, the great Philistine warrior, was an intimidating figure. His height, strength, and military experience made him a living weapon. The Israelites were terrified and hopeless for victory. Goliath appeared every day, challenging the army of Israel to send a man to face him. This challenge was more than just a matter of military victory. It was public humiliation. By challenging Israel, Goliath was also challenging the God of Israel. No Israelite soldier felt up to the task, not even King Saul, who was the tallest and most experienced man in the Israeli army. David, the shepherd with a warrior's heart. David was not a soldier, nor had he received military training. He was a simple shepherd, the youngest among his brothers. His father, Jesse, had sent him to bring food to his brothers on the battlefield. When David heard Goliath's insults against the army of Israel and God, something in his heart ignited. He could not accept the affront to his people and his God. David's youth can be seen as a symbol of pure faith and courage that comes from total trust in God. For David, it was not a matter of skill or experience. It was a matter of who was by his side. He had such deep faith that he did not see Goliath as a threat, but as an opportunity to display God's glory and power. David's spiritual preparation and confidence. Before facing Goliath, David tried to convince Saul that he could overcome him. In 1 Samuel chapter 17 verses 34 to 37, David shares his experience as a shepherd, explaining that he had fought lions and bears over the years to protect his sheep. He declares that the same God who protected him from these dangers would also protect him against Goliath. David knew that his preparation for this battle came not from military skills or heavy armor, but from a confidence built over years of walking with God. This type of spiritual preparation is important. It shows us that faith is not born in moments of glory but behind the scenes, when no one is watching. The spiritual meaning of the sling and stones. David chose not to wear Saul's armor, as he felt uncomfortable in it. Instead, he opted for a simple weapon, his sling and 5 smooth stones. The sling was a shepherd's weapon, used to protect the flock and scare off predators. But in David's hands, it symbolized the simplicity and effectiveness of faith. The 5 smooth stones David took from the stream also carry spiritual symbolism. Some scholars suggest that the 5 stones represent attributes David possessed: faith, courage, preparation, humility, and obedience to God. He needed only 1 stone to strike down Goliath, but the preparation and choice of 5 stones reflect his prudence and wisdom in preparing for the unexpected. The battle. A moment of faith and determination. As Goliath approached, David ran toward him, driven by confidence in God. Goliath mocked David, considering him insignificant and unarmed. Yet, David responded with a powerful statement of faith, affirming that he came in the name of the Lord of hosts. 1 Samuel 17 verse 45. This verse is a reminder that, for David, the battle was already won because he believed God was with him. David aimed the stone with precision, hitting Goliath's forehead. The power of faith and confidence in God accomplished what seemed impossible: to defeat an invincible warrior with a simple stone. This act not only defeated Goliath but also shook the Philistines and strengthened the Israelites' faith. The aftermath of David's victory. David's victory over Goliath changed the course of the war. The Philistine army, previously confident, fled in despair, and the army of Israel pursued them, winning the battle. This triumphant moment earned David the recognition and respect of the people, and he became a national hero. David was brought before Saul, who questioned his background. This encounter marked the beginning of a series of events that would eventually lead David to the throne of Israel. He gained the friendship of Saul's son Jonathan and also the admiration of the people. Reflections on David's courage and faith. The story of David and Goliath offers us several profound reflections. Courage that comes from faith. David did not fear Goliath because he trusted in God. True courage is not the absence of fear but confidence in something greater than ourselves. For David, God was this greater strength. Spiritual preparation in moments of simplicity. David's experience as a shepherd prepared him for a greater challenge. Often, God prepares us in moments of simplicity and teaches us valuable lessons for future challenges. The strength of trust in God. David knew his strength did not come from his ability but from God. This trust is a powerful lesson for us, as we often try to face the giants in our lives with our own strength. Humility and victory. After the victory, David did not boast or seek fame. He acknowledged that it was God who gave him the victory, and humility was a constant characteristic throughout his life. The legacy of David and Goliath's story. The story of David and Goliath continues to inspire generations. It reminds us that, with faith, we can face any giant in our lives. David's trust in God is a model for all believers facing difficulties, insecurities, and challenges. His example teaches us that, regardless of our appearance or abilities, God can use us in surprising ways when we trust in Him. Applying the story of David and Goliath in modern life. Today, we face giants in various areas. Fear, anxiety, financial problems, difficult relationships, and professional challenges. Just like David, we may feel small and inadequate in the face of so many problems. But David's story teaches us that victory does not lie in our own strength but in faith and trust in God. Just as David prepared his stones, we must prepare spiritually and trust God to guide us. The simplicity and authenticity of David's faith remind us that we don't need sophisticated armor or weapons to win. We only need a heart that fully trusts in God. Conclusion. The transformative power of faith. The story of David and Goliath is much more than a military victory. It is a testament to what God can do through someone who trusts Him wholeheartedly. David shows us that true courage comes from faith and that God is faithful to honor those who trust in Him. As we finish reflecting on the story of David and Goliath, may we apply that same courage and faith in our lives. May we remember that, no matter how intimidating our challenges may be, nothing is impossible for God. David's journey, from shepherd to king, begins with an act of faith and courage that changed his life and Israel's history. That is the power of faith. It transforms, restores, and allows us to see beyond the visible. If this story inspired you to face your own challenges with faith and courage, subscribe to our channel, Echoes of Heaven, for more content like this. Join us and strengthen your spiritual journey.